The Nigerian Senate has pledged to tackle the mass migration of Nigerians to countries overseas, popularly known as the Japa Syndrome. According to Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, who is the chairperson of the Senate Committee on Diaspora and Non-Governmental Organizations, the committee plans to collaborate with stakeholders to make Nigeria more attractive to its citizens, particularly the youth. This comes as British Conservative Party leader Kemi Badenoch announced a new policy proposed to allow immigrants become eligible for British citizenship only after 15 years of living in the United Kingdom.
It's not a hotel. It's time to tell the truth on immigration and propose real plans to do something about it. I want to reduce immigration and make living here actually mean something. We need to change the way our immigration system works. So I'm announcing that the Conservative Party is going to do the following things differently. 1. If you want to stay in our country permanently and apply for indefinite leave to remain, the time you have to live here before you apply will increase from 5 years to 10 years. 2. You will have to be a net contributor with a high enough salary, especially if you want to bring family members with you. And if you've got a criminal record, you're banned.
Now, here's what you should know about this. The number of Nigerians in diaspora is estimated to be 17 million people worldwide. The largest number of registered Nigerians in the diaspora live in the United Kingdom. In 2023, Nigeria was 5th in the world for gross remittances inflows. Now, to discuss this extensively, we're joined by the journalist and publisher of the columnist NG, Yusuf Mohammed. Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning.
Thank you very much.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
I think let's start with the popular outrage that Nigerians have expressed to Kemi Badenoch's video. This is not the first time. She seems to know the right things to say to rattle Nigerians up. Do you express those same sentiments and the same anger that a number of Nigerians have?
Well, when looking at Kemi Badenoch, I try to see her in two ways. Like, there are two perspectives. One is the elitist uproar. I call it the elitist uproar. And the other one, when I try to talk about Kemi Badenoch, I try to put myself in the shoes of the man who is struggling to feed himself. Would he be that worked up about her statements? Because she's talking about...
Does he even have plans of relocating, the man that is struggling to feed?
He doesn't have plans to relocate. So that is not his own reality. So I see it as a privilege to even get angry by her words. That's a privilege, because you have to be able to afford the basic things for you to even listen to her and get that angry. So, like what Peter Obi said, that rather than attack the messenger, I think we should look at some of these things she says, some of the positive things she says, rather than just focusing on
introspect. Because if you don't fix your house, they would. I mean, that's what you get.
Yes, yes.
The way you make your bed is the way you lay on it. Now let's talk on.
I'm sorry. On Kemi Badenoch also, there are many Badenochs in the UK. She's just echoing what some of them over there say. She's not alone.
Now let's talk about Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan's statement. She wants to curb this trend of Japa, Nigerian professionals, there's a brain drain, so many people are relocated by the droves. I'm sure if we do a random sampling, we can point to 1 or 2 people, or even more that have left in the last few years. Do you believe, mere patriotic speeches can force Nigerians to stay or change their minds, or there has to be something more concrete to prevent them from leaving? And this thing happened also in the 70s and the early 80s. We had a Japa wave then.
Yes, so first and foremost, what is the meaning of Japa? So we have to look at the word. It means to escape, right? Run away. So what are they running away from in the first place? They are running away. Majority of, I speak with young people almost on a daily basis on social media and in real life. And majority of them give economy as the reason why they are living. Some talk about security, safety, that no matter how much you make, if you are going to bed with your stomach full and your neighbors are hungry, that's also a security risk for you. So it's about the safety. Look at the case of the lawmaker in Anambra who was kidnapped on his way to his village on the 24th of December. His body was found, I think 2 days ago, at the second Niger bridge. So that is a security issue, and it's an incentive for some people, to leave the country. That's actually a rich man. He's not a common man by any sense of the word. But look at what has happened to him due to security. So majority says economy, but there's those who will tell you that safety,
Okay, I also want us to look at some of the plans that Natasha Akpoti has talked about to ensure she reduces Japa. She's talked about, she's proposed working with embassies to compile data on Nigerians in America, Canada, Europe, Africa, and Asia, identifying their skills and potential contribution. Another strategy she talked about was the creation, that's the Nigerian Diaspora database. She called for the development of high-tech zones, textile hubs, and manufacturing sectors to ensure that skilled professionals could return home to viable jobs. Another strategy she talked about is creating a system where wealth can be strategically invested. And by this, she talked about the diaspora remittances and creating the diaspora bank. So all of these ideas and all of these suggestions, do you think they'll be enough to convince the average Nigerian to, like they say, Jakmada, come back to Nigeria and maybe start a life here?
Well, it's a welcome development, what Natasha Akpoti is proposing and all, but it takes holistic effort. All hands should be on deck. There are other committees, saddled with other responsibilities. Like she talked about studying Pakistan, Egypt, and India. So I believe there are other committees that should look at security, because without security, the economy will not thrive. The UAE, for instance, focused on security and infrastructure. It's one of the safest places. That's why people are going there. So, yes, it's a welcome development. We should support her. We should encourage her. But we need other public officials also showing the same determination. For instance, like I asked initially, what is Japa? Escape, to run away. That word should not have been allowed to become this popular, to the extent that the Oxford Dictionary has made it an official word. It's a bad word. Escape, run.
It has negative connotation.
It has negative connotation, So I believe someone like Dora Kunle of blessed memory would not allow that word fly. So
now, Yusuf, let's talk about this current trend we've seen. We've seen America first, the Trump 2.0, and we also heard what Kemi said.
Yes.
We see that countries keep making it harder for Nigerians to migrate. Do you see this as a blessing in disguise, and perhaps it might make us, reflect and say, we actually need to fix things back home so we don't have to go through embarrassing situations of spending millions applying for visas here and there, and people thinking of how they can leave the country?
Yes. There's a saying that if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. We have had several opportunities, in the past to look inwards. Like during COVID, the pandemic, there was a lockdown for a long period of time, and it affected a lot of people's means of earning and all that. So what did we learn from COVID? Did we try to look inward? Did we, make our healthcare system better? So I just feel this is another opportunity that that affords us another opportunity that we should look inward. It's actually embarrassing when you hear Nigerians, crying about the policies of foreign countries. I know the world is a global village, but at least we should have some respect.
Self-respect.
Self-respect. How do we use our resources, human and material resources, for the betterment of the country?
Well, these are, some of the conversations that we'll keep talking about. At the end of the day, the Nigerians, I don't think the Nigerians,
via desert or airport.
They will see Japa.
Yes.
But I don't think the average Nigerian, Japa became, like you've mentioned, it became very popular recently because people are just trying to have a decent life. Nigerians don't want to be working in the cold, in minus 23-degree weather.
Yes,
you know, and
yes.
it's not, we have the perfect weather here. Maybe not perfect, but we don't have to deal with natural disasters,
Right.
earthquakes, you know, intense weather
Racism.
conditions. You
Racism.
know. Well, but we have tribalism, and that one is another conversation for
Yes,
another
yes.
day.
So-
But we look forward to a Nigeria that has everything that the average Nigerian will need to thrive. And so we don't get disrespected by other countries.
That is it.
Anyway, Yusuf Mohammed, thank you so much for joining us
Yeah,
this
thank
morning.
you.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for
And
having
we
me.
hope you're not Japan soon.
No.
Eh?
I'm a patriotic Nigerian, and I want to sensitize people on the need to.
You know why I say, huh? Because the number of people that have asked, are you Japan? They say no. The next thing we are seeing them
They're
in
out
Canada
there.
with picture one other
Thank you
country.
very much. We'll
But
be
thank you for
monitoring
joining
you.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.